Okay, so please, Mariana.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. It's very nice to be here and sharing this moment with you. I hope we get not only the questions answered, but also some energy in your process. So, I'm just going to give you a little overview of what you can see because all of the projects are shown in Architecture and Development's platform. So, you can access over there. The project is called Abuela's House. It's self-built housing for women in rural areas, and this particular one was happening in Oaxaca in Mexico. So I think that there's some criteria that I would have to share to be able to support all of you by answering that question. That is where the project was, how many people were involved, what was also all of the materials, the deliverables of a project presentation that it was already done and what we had to do. So I think that this is a matter of understanding. For me, I think we took around 2 weeks, but we had a lot of material. Yes. So all of the research was done, all of the bonding with the community, and the actual project was done. So what we were doing was actually understanding architecturals in development framework to be able to translate the project in the questions of the application. So each one of the questions, if we see the project, where are we now, and all of the other prompts that architecture and development is asking us, this is what we had to format to serve our application. Um, so, and the what is the beautiful thing is that what I can see now, Changpeng, let me know if you agree that every global challenge, the criterias of communication, they get mastered. So, what's something that 2 years ago we could call a way to measure impact, now it's constantly being updated on how can we actually measure impact and bring more value into the projects that we are developing. So I don't think if I answered you in a very specific way, but 2 weeks I had 3 people in the team working with me. The project had already a lot of content. We had to do especially the renders and some diagrams and the text. What he actually do, we had also a lot of content because I'm a researcher, so all of the texts they were present. We just had to um, translate that content in architectures and development framework.
It is wonderful. Thank you very much, Mariana. And I heard from more participants about the value of being part of the global challenge application is that the process also helps you to develop a better narrative. And for this edition, we aim to support the finalist teams to improve also the research part, especially about impact, how you present and quantify your impact to appeal to potential sponsors and partners. That's always a very tricky part for a lot of grassroots practices. So this edition, the focus of the accelerator is to support your teams to improve more data-based, quantified impact, how do you call it? Impact presentations or reports. So now I'm going to open the space for people who have questions. And 1 hour can go very quickly. So please just immediately jump out because very often people wait until last minute and then we don't have time anymore. And my battery might also die out. So there's no time for extra extension. I'm very happy to see some ambassadors joining us. So for some participants, I can also connect you to our local ambassadors so they can speak with you in more local language. That's also quite helpful. I see Chloe on mute. Maybe you can start.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Super. So thank you for organizing this like question and this interaction. My first question would be about on the second part of the application in the image gallery and the technical drawings. Upload up to 20 images to give people a better impression about your project initiative. What is first the real difference between image gallery and technical drawings? Because we could think that in image gallery we could put more perspectives and pictures of the people and materials. Technical drawings should be strictly plans and section and architectural representation. So first question is, what is the strict difference between both? And then we can upload up to 20. My question is, can we do a board with different drawings, or does it have to be really strictly one image as one drawing and no more? So can you give us a little bit more insight about this part? Thank you.
Yes. So actually between these two, I see here, so this is still the example project of Mariana. So she had her interpretation. You see, she actually mixed the images with, I would call these technical drawings already, because you need some technical skills to make these drawings. I would say there's not very strict distinction. We expect projects, especially when projects are at different phases, you just have to share the key drawings that are relevant for your next phase, right? So why we organize this? Because a lot of projects or teams, they could get started, but at a certain phase, you need to scale, or you are seeking extra access to collaborators, fundings, etc., etc. So it really depends on the phase you're in. And we, of course, we have jury board and we need to review your projects. So you need to make sure, you can see here, we view it online. So when we click, it needs to be readable. So in this case, I think Mariana's presentation is really well done. It's extremely clear and readable. This is really pretty small, but it's still readable. So yeah, I guess that's it. It doesn't have to be I mean, not strictly divided into technical drawings and the image gallery. It's just to support the review process, that we know, okay, you tell us all the stories about your project, your team, your impact, and now we want to know a little bit where you are, where you are with your project, because then you have to explain again what's needed. If you follow me on the screen, you can see what's needed. You need to describe where are we now, and then the resources you're looking for. And you can see the resources you're looking for. It's not only finance. You can ask for skills, staff, and labor. So it really depends on, yes, the status and the phase your project is currently in. So yeah, I hope that that helps.
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And I see it's very hard for me to see who has the next question. So either you put your hand or you immediately speak and say hi. Anybody?
Can I add something to Chloe's question?
Yes, please.
So, Chloe, I was gonna mention, I'm gonna add on what
Dora
Chanyaling
thing,
said.
we are putting it up for a competition for grants.
Oh, it's okay. I think people forgot to mute. Please.
Okay, so how I'm gonna just also tell you how I see it. That is an invitation to explain the project in different facades, no? So you do have the text has prompts, and then you have a video, and then you have the spaces to elaborate the narrative of your project through diagrams, and then you do have the technical drawings, which per se, it's the technical drawings, it says what it is, right? So how it's gonna be projected in a technical way. So how I see is that trying to see each one of the tools in a way that they do not repeat information, but they sum and illustrate each other's information. So if I'm able to explain impact in a quantifiable way through text, I might be able to show what I quantified in an image. So that's how I probably see when I'm doing an application. I see the deliverables and I do try to strategize the deliverables in a way that they add on information about someone that has never been there, that do not know the connections. So probably on a text, you're gonna be more conceptual and structure the narrative. Through videos, you can show the atmosphere and bring the person close to something that you're only the only one connected. And then in the images, you can bring all of the narrative of how the project unfolded. And then the technical drawings, you wrap it up with something that is that you can show the feasibility of it, right? So, but there's many ways to use all of these tools, and you're the one that will strategize in the best way to communicate your project.
So eventually mixing together on one image a technical drawing, and next to it you have like a picture of the participative process, because it makes sense, also something that completely will be allowed. It's, for instance, so there's more freedom about it. It's not so fixed, right? If I understand it well.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I also want to add, if you were done, Mariana. Yeah. Like, because we're going to read your application online. So again, you do not need to spend a lot of time to make compositions, etc. You use it as a tool to indeed to explain, especially like what Mariana just said. And yeah, as we are not a architecture competition, so we don't expect that you compose a nice presentation for these images. It's more like, okay, these images will support your narrative, your story, as well as the practical information.
Super. Thank you very much.
Yes. So let me see. So I guess that was a really, really good question, but are there no more questions? I cannot see.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
Sawa.
Salwa, yes. My name is Salwa. I am from Aziza Shawnee Projects team. I do have a question though. I'm going to take a step back for a little bit and I'm going to ask about if you could clarify more about the difference between the project selection when it comes to there is two types. There is like scaling up phase and there's an early stage. So what is the difference between these two criteria, these two groups? And then and if you could answer me that, and then I could, shoot up the other question.
Sure. Where did you see the early phase? Because I think we mainly focus on scaling up phase.
It's a scaling up phase only? Okay. Okay, perfect. Then my second question can be asked, which is like, for a project that is, for example, we do have a prototype of it that is built. exist already. However, we're seeking fundings and we're seeking partnerships. Can this be considered a project that we could put under the scaling up or no? Like we do have a prototype, but like we are still seeking funding for it to expand.
I probably need a bit more information. So you said you have already something built.
Yes, we do have already something built, yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, for sure, you are in the next phase. So I would say it's considered a scaling up. But to extend your question, and this is extremely crucial for all the participants, is that we have judging criteria and submission criteria, right? It's in our how to apply that page. For us, we put on top as community lead and the team capacity. These two are the ruling criteria. So when we are judging your applications, we first judge these. So I hope that's clear. No matter what type your projects are, if there's a strong community engagement from the beginning, and we also expect that professionals, I think most of you are considered as professionals, that you are really part of the team. So if you are an external consultant to this project, yeah, that's a kind of a very interesting conversation. But first of all, we prioritize project with a very strong team. So show us who are you and why your project is community lead. So you need to be, yeah, if that's the case, you have something built, then for sure your project is eligible. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Regarding, okay, so like you got me to another question, which is it is I'm so sorry, like maybe I'm
No,
taking
it's
time
all
from
right.
other people. But yeah, the other question is that you said, the part of the team we need to present what exactly for like team introduction? Like, is it only CVs, bio, or like do we go into like give like a separate sheets to present the team? Because the project is not like only created by the firm, but it is of like a huge team to support the community. So at what level of details, or if you have an example of something like that?
Yes, so I don't know if you follow our first case when we are starting the Q&A. Let's have a look. I think, Mariana, again, I think here you did a very, very good job. You see, we don't want to have a list of, okay, who are these team members. I think core team, again, you need to tell us the story behind your project. How and why did you come together to initiate and establish these projects? So it's actually a story about relations. It's not about, okay, take the name, and your titles. That would not help. So we care about the team because eventually, architecture and development wants to work with your team. And we want to make sure your teams are a great team, only that we can succeed together. So there's no way for us to grow together, to go for partners and sponsors together if your team is not a strong and motivated team. So motivated team, there's a story why you're coming together. I mean, it's actually very straightforward. I think all the good companies started with a great team. So right? We have good companies together. We are good companies. And then with that energy, we achieve something greater together. So this is where you really tell us why your project exists, because of of us. So yeah, I have to say this is also a great question. And please, if you go to our project session, and then here you see, you just show challenge. You can see a lot of examples. Oh, here I was focusing on Mexico. So we have, if I unclick inspiration, because we're focusing on global challenge projects. So these are the global challenge projects. On top, these are the finalists. And okay, they become finalists. I think these are already the best examples to see how they describe their teams. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So that, yes, very nice questions. So anyone else? And I don't know, most people actually do not show their camera, so I really don't know if you have questions. But Xiaolin, show your face, so I think you have questions.
But we have
Yes, please. We still have time. And Mariana and other ambassadors, if you have anything to add, feel free. And Sarah as well. Shiraz. Okay, Xiaolin, do you have
Is there a question or can I go?
You need to unmute.
Sorry. Sorry. Okay. Today I come with my professor when I was doing the bachelor. She's an architecture, landscape architecture. Now we have some community self-building project in Beijing. This project is a garden project, because any architecture project in China, you need to get the permission from the government, even the garden. But the garden is better because you have more power for the community, because it's only you can do it on the open space, open green space. So this is what we're doing now. We have some questions. The first one is, how did you get the financial support from the sponsors? How did you get the sponsors? Because now we have the sponsor from the financial support from the government, but it is not enough. As a designer, we want to do more, but now the financial support is not enough. Even the sponsor from the entrepreneur is also from the government. So we don't have the experience to get the financial support. This is the first question. And the second one is,
so maybe let's go for the first question. Is that good? So
one by one.
Yes, one by one. Let's check this. I think all the people might want to ask the question you ask. So
Yes.
first of all, I want to emphasize that architecture and development is not a foundation. So in our previous Global Challenge editions, we tried very hard to find funding partners in advance. And then from there, we try to provide seed funding. So our finalists have, I would say, received a little amount of seed funding, but obviously it's really not much. And this year, we wanted to try a new approach. So it's good, especially for you who are here, we want to explain this to you in a very clear way. In the past, as I said, the seed funding is quite small. So our participants, finalist teams, eventually come up with a conclusion that what if we go together as a team under, because AD provides this global stage, right? And then we have these projects in different continents, in different contexts, dealing with different challenges. The conclusion is that if we go together and we develop a collective statement, a strong narrative, and this year we are going to improve the impact and data report for the finalist teams. Together, we might be able to approach to more sponsors and financial opportunities. That being said, we do not have funding in advance, at this moment, but the goal of the whole accelerator is the same like the accelerator in the tech startup scene. We together increase our opportunities to more partners and sponsors. So we are preparing, I'm almost done. So we are preparing a live crowdfunding event at the end of the accelerator. And then there will be also a live event in Hong Kong planned. So with a live event, with online workshops and all these activities, is to increase our visibility and also access to funding and partnerships. So is it clear?
Yeah. Yes. And the second, we want to try to guide the residents to participate that project, and they have a lot of different ideas, and how to get them to how to make the decision. That's the beginning of this kind of project in China, I think, because like my student said that before our country do that all from government, or to we need to we need we need their permission to do that, to build garden or some small building like most of your project. Maybe the residents want more, not only garden but also some more building constructions. Yes. How did you get the permission from them? Yes, we don't know.
Well, I kind of missed your question. What exactly is your question?
A lot of questions in China. That's very difficult to try that. This kind of project. Yeah. But nevertheless, we begin. Nevertheless, we begin. So I think we want to ask a lot of questions. Maybe we try now, and hope you're really supportive. Yeah, I think maybe I can ask another question that maybe we can do something now. Yeah, technology support is our we do that from government and with our university and college students and teachers and professors together and residents. Maybe tomorrow we have a meeting. We want some suggestion and talk with them about that you're supporting or.
Yeah, what I can suggest, that's why I'm showing you this page. And this is also for all the, participants of today, is we Actually, AD would prioritize projects that are looking for diverse kinds of support. If your project is only looking for funding, then you understand what I mean? If your project is only looking for funding, we are not a foundation to fund a project. So we prioritize projects that are looking for different kind of skills, stuff, hands, and of course funding. All the project needs funding, but if you're looking for funding, as AD is actually facilitating more do it together practices. So we want to see more collaboration. So for example, if you say, okay, it's hard to implement participatory design, co-design in China, if AD can connect you to this type of professionals or practitioners, so this person can facilitate your process, and you can specify that here. So in what's needed, you have a lot of space to ask what kind of expertise you're looking for. If you need people to facilitate co-design participatory process, you can ask that, because actually in our network, there are a lot of this kind of expertise. So then we are able to connect you for sure. The tricky thing is we need to find people who can meet you right in China. So we need to be, in your region, but that should be possible. So that's why please all of you have a look of the finalist projects here. And otherwise, in our global challenge campaign page, if you scroll down, you can see success stories. I mean, these are really the best examples we collect here. And then go to their project page to see, what have they asked. So, but feel free to ask if your question is not very specific now. Even after the Q&A, you can still reach out to me, okay?
Yeah, I think we are not only looking for the funding. The most important is experience. Maybe some example of this kind of subject.
Yes.
In the world. So, because now for us the most difficult thing is how to organize the residents to make the decision to do all the things. We need this kind of experience. And one more thing is the international
for participatory process, this is really, we have so many experts in our network who can share their experiences with you online. Offline visit you, that's probably possible, but we can also, we can find a way, okay?
Okay. But should we try to connect them now or after we submit our project?
So yes, there's a review process. So we will have to select a project, because we are an organization with a small team. And then we need to invite experts on board. And for projects, sometimes we need to call for experts in our network to help you. So we cannot do that for all the applications. That's why we have a selection process.
So now we submit first. Yeah.
Yes, we cannot help you right away.
Thank you so much. And one more thing, that we expect some international exchange, because you also have the likely event in Hong Kong later. So I think maybe that could be an opportunity. Maybe we can meet there. Or maybe we can discuss later.
Yes. I think that's actually a wonderful venue, indeed, to connect more people in person rather than online. So for sure, we want to create more in-person touch moments. And also, I think live events can generate even bigger momentum and invite more potential sponsors and partners. So I think the project will greatly benefit from live events. But thank you, Charlene.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem. So now we still have 20 minutes, and I think it's quite nice that we have already addressed some very important questions. I'm sure these are all quite common questions. So I see somebody. Oh yeah, Nicholas left a comment. Yeah. So Xiaolin, if you can hear me, you can you can connect to our ambassador Nicholas. So for Asian-based teams, if you check the chat, Nicholas is our ambassador, representing the Southeast Asia region. So feel free to reach out to Nicholas if you need more in-person connections, etc. Because I really at this moment cannot help all the applicants. Thank you.
Yeah, I understand. I have her email address, so it's okay.
So
thank you very much.
So people, either you ask questions right now, or you can also drop your question in the chat box indeed. So who wants to be? Yay! I see a hand raising. Please unmute.
Okay. So I have a question. I think one of organization from Indonesia asked me this question. So can one organization submit more than one project? Are they just wondering about that kind of question? So
yes, it is possible.
Oh,
but
okay.
you can imagine that eventually, if the team has very strong proposition, eventually I would say one project to enter the finalist selection.
Okay, thank you. I will pass your answer to them. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So anything to add or?
I'll try again.
Yes,
CF.
please.
I just had a general question. By the way, people that are attending this live meeting, thank you. I am affiliated with AD, so I'm not joining any projects. I'm more busy on the background. But that leads me to this following question. Maybe it's an idea for you to introduce each other to each other and just like an elevator pitch, talk about the project that you're pitching. It could help ideate with each other, but also maybe some bottlenecks that you experienced during the ideation phase, and some tips about basically tips towards each other. So if we still have the time, as there are no questions, it could be a good thing to discuss. I don't mind picking people either, so I hope somebody.
I would always pick people because that's easier.
Okay, let's start with Center for Green Building Materials and Technology. I don't see a name. Okay, we got a little shy today. Maria Payne. Basically anybody at this moment. We are all shy. What's happening?
But I think all the key questions were also addressed. I heard a voice too.
Hi. So I'm not putting my video on at the moment, but I'm from CGBMT, Center for Green Building Materials and Technology. And we are actually trying to, we have been working on a project for a UNESCO, housing for UNESCO Heritage Tribe in India. I'm from India. And we have been trying to, we have got the prototype of the housing developed a few years ago, and we are trying to get people, materials, and some sort of funding as well, all different kind, and project management support, because these are very remote places, and this is a tribe which is there are less than 2,000 people left of the tribe, and so UNESCO has put them onto the heritage list. And the kind of housing that they do is also because of some constraints for them to get the materials that they used to build with before, we had to develop a new prototype that we have done, and we have done the basic all material mapping, etc. But we have not somehow been able to gather either people to build it so that we can bring the cost down, or materials which we can get. And that's the project we are pitching at the moment for this year. And there we have a challenges as to how to make it also. One is that it should have the same thermal comfort and other things which the traditional housing actually had. And at the same time, the new generation who doesn't want to live in those houses, traditional houses, how do we make them get back to that again? And that's we have one trust from that place, and a doctor who has been working with these Toda communities, called Toda community, and they have been, he has been with them for almost 50 years, doing documenting their things and all that. And they had, with them, we are working on this project. And so the first prototype is built. It will see a streaming of other number of housings for these people who can be actually taken up. So if you have any suggestions as to what all we should emphasize in the application that we put in, that will be really great. Do I put my video on?
I wonder if Mariana has any feedback immediately.
Yeah.
Mariana, if you have any feedback to so how can we call you? We only see your organization.
I'm Neelam Manjunath.
Neela?
Neelam.
Neelam.
Neelam Manjunath. Yeah.
Thank you.
I was gonna ask just to, like, if you can repeat the last phrase, because it cut it off a little bit for me.
Phrase. Meaning?
Just if you could wrap it up, the question, just because it cut it off for me a little bit.
Okay, so it's like that. We have a what I'm telling is we are trying to get heritage tribes housing prototype regenerated in the contemporary context, and due to certain because of the uh, that we had this British colonization that had happened, these people are not able to get the same materials that they used to build with earlier. And we have developed a prototype which has been approved and everything. Material mapping also has been done, but now we really need to go forward and build it to showcase to people that it is giving them the same thermal comfort and other things. And for that, we need support in terms of volunteers who can come and build with us, people who can do project management, and they can give us materials. Some people can donate materials, etc., and some basic funding, which can help the first prototype to finish, to trigger the the down reaction. That's what.
Okay, so from what I understand is because, like, I see what I see is the main intention is to get the funds to do the prototype, right? And then to get the strategy to do the attraction of the agents that you need to be involved in getting the
No,
prototype done.
no, it's not just the funding. It's also the project has to get a little bit of what do you say? Um, you can say, no, I wouldn't call it marketing, but visibility, and the importance of these kind of heritage kind of structures, which were really working very well earlier. But these are forest dwellers for which this has to be done. And they live in, and they have these grazing lands and things where they used to graze. But the whole topography and also the biodiversity place was changed due to insertion of some of the species of plants and animals in that area, which has really impacted their life in a very big way, which we want to somehow restore to some extent possible with this intervention that we are trying to do. And so this kind of housing, which is really suitable for their climate, they're going for concrete structures now, which is absolutely not suitable, and should not be there. It will further, even each hamlet has not got more than 5 houses. So it's very difficult to manage.
If
So
I
the
may,
management part, volunteers to build, like that.
it is very, very interesting. Vila, sorry, I forgot your name. But sorry, Mariana, I think I can jump in as well because what's wonderful is that we do have quite a rich network in India. And this year we also have an ambassador in India that I can connect you even after this Q&A, because I think your project has multiple layers, including advocacy for more locally rooted building methods and materials. And after this project, it has also an educational, I think an educational value to younger generation of architects, non-architects. So I see it's indeed a much, much bigger scale. I call it project, but it goes beyond a project. So I do see why you are asking for also management. It's not bad to talk about marketing. I understand, because when you're advocating something, you need to raise your visibility. You need to have better, so we call it narrative. It's so important these days. You need to be able to do proper storytelling. And it's not just about writing, it's also about how you present.
Yes.
So this, okay, so if I show again, so feel free to just browse because there are many examples, but
yeah, I will do.
Yes, so
if
so
you have
this
some
is
specific
this is the project in India, for example, and interestingly is that our India ambassador Uday, he is part of this project. So this is really a grassroots community project for a tea farming community. And Uday is an architect, but he's been really deeply involved in this project. And you can have a look. It's a very long-term project. They even established, I'm not sure if I can call it foundation. So you see, it's not just a grassroots project. You need some kind of organization. So eventually they established, I think it's called trust. So in India, you need to find the right legal form. And it's not the only project that established a foundation or trust during the global challenge. We have another project in Colombia that they also, during the global challenge, they establish a foundation, because when you have an organization status, it could help you to access to more partners and funding support and government support, etc. So I
Yeah,
think
so
you need to try to describe what you exactly need. See, they
okay.
also ask for PR and marketing here. So I think this project might be interesting for you to have a look.
Which one? Uday's
This one, you can find it.
school built by the people. Okay, for the
Yes,
people in
if you
Jordan.
go to our
Fine.
project pool, it's one of our finalist projects.
Okay, sure.
So I think the time is also. Maybe
One more.
Mariana has something to add, or maybe you have more questions.
No, I don't have more questions. I just wanted to add that we already have a trust which is more than 20 years old, and we are doing a lot of work. So this is one of our projects. We are doing a lot of works, including courses and advocacy, and we have been in this field for close to 20 plus years. And this is one of our projects, and that's why the doctor and his own organization, so they also have a trust. They approached us because of our expertise in the field of bamboo and other materials that we work with. I'm a World Bamboo Ambassador, and I'm also a part of INBAR team, Construction Task Force. And so they had approached us to do this project. So now in the execution, we need these help and support to build the prototype so that it can be scaled up further later. And that is a thing.
Yes.
And benefit
May
the
I,
society, I mean.
may I add real quick? First of all, thank you for not being shy and providing information on your project. Extremely elaborate, and I understand the importance of maintaining heritage and, of course, biodiversity. As we are a little time constrained, maybe
No
it's an
problem.
idea for the other people as well to add the links to the project or the website if you have them, so that we can all look and see what each of us is doing. It could help each other out. But that's what I wanted to add on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Hi,
and
sorry to jump in
yes,
here. Neelam,
just
just wanted to let you know I sent you a private message. So just check that and then you can send me a mail. I can contact you with the India representative. And we
Okay,
can go.
sure.
oh,
Sure,
great.
sure. Yeah,
Thank you,
sure.
Nicholas. Yeah, I think that's the best. Our Indian representative ambassador, I think he can really help you. And he has also participated in the project I just showed you. So
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So it's a little bit harsh to call people, but sometimes it's also really nice that yeah, it opens up new questions, and I hope this facilitates your application. Yeah, Mariana, please.
I was gonna mention that it's very powerful that there's something way out of the scope of only architecture, no? So the way that you're explaining the entire system, that's a huge project that in a very systematical way, it brings a solution of also a systemical issue. That's why it has a systemical response, no? So from everything that I personally heard, the what I wanted to add on that you were shy to put, that's how I heard about marketing. Marketing is extremely necessary, and we need to do that because people are magnet. That's the tool that we have to communicate the power of what you're doing. So it's a lot of different areas and put it in a paper to see the potential of all of the solutions and how they connect to each other and how they potentialize each other's impact. That's a way how to think a project through in systems. And then the best way to, in my opinion, to communicate those is through communicating the impact of the system and not only the prototype. The prototype is a
Yeah,
solution.
correct,
So
correct.
if from what I see, it's a marketing and communication effort because you have all of the content. It's
Yeah,
creating this framework and narrative into choosing the
yeah,
vocabulary and the strategy of the story that you're gonna show through different resources. No images, videos that you probably have everything too.
yeah.
So It is marketing. It is communication. Is designing this the way you're gonna see. So you can reach out to me too if you want and tell me a little bit more, and then we can exchange processes on way to unfold that into a digital narrative. And
How do we get in touch?
challenge, I can write it down here in my contact, but also from what I see of the challenge, it's a perfect framework to do that because it's already prompt. The challenge will already ask you the questions that will make you build your narrative. So that's also the power. And Shengfeng communicated that in the beginning. So participating in the global challenges, bringing also your project into a framework that this will potentialize it in many ways because you have a well-rounded story.
Yeah, yes. And then it's nice. So what I want to add is that if you think you are not having enough capacity in storytelling, narrative, marketing, as I show you in the project, please specify that you need this kind of expertise because if you are part of our finalist teams, then we can try to connect you to this expertise you need. So actually, don't be shy to ask. If you feel you need this kind of support, make that very clear because not all the teams have great storytelling or graphic capacities. Not all of them. So in that case, sitting in between all these beautifully presented projects, you say you really need support in that part. Yeah. Then we hear you. We will hear you.
Sure. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So I think we used the time quite nicely. I guess we have addressed all kinds of questions today. So for people, so today I'm going to stop recording.